Hello and welcome to the Susie Makes Craft channel. Today's video is about how to do a granny corner border. Now what that is I have made, it's hard to show you the whole thing on camera, but this large continuous granny square blanket in nice summer colours, which don't really fully show properly on this picture unfortunately, but I've done them in lovely summer colours for my bed in the summertime. Now I'm on the border and I thought it would be a good idea to show this as a crochet border, share this with you on the craft channel. Now what a corner border is, let's just see if I can get that light a bit better. That's a little bit better. Now, what a corner border is you know when you make a granny square, you get these, you have to do, all this is in UK terms incidentally, you have to do 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles in the corner to get the square look. Well, a corner border, when you come to wanting to put the border on your granny square throw or whatever it is, it's more or less that all the way around the blanket. So I say more or less, the corners actually become 4 trebles. Now I do 1 chain, you can do 2 if yours is a bit tight. 4 trebles, 1 chain, 4 trebles in each corner. Then I double crochet into the next space. So in there I put a double crochet. And in the next space I do what was the corner on the granny square blanket before I got to the border, which is 3 trebles, 1 chain, although I know a lot of you do 2 chains, it depends on your tension, and then 3 trebles. So 3 trebles, 1 or 2 chains, 3 trebles. Then you do another double crochet in the next space, and then another corner in the next space, 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles. Then another double crochet in the next space, and so on all the way around. Now I have left a little bit of this to actually demonstrate it to you. So let's just get my hook ready again, and here we go. Now in order to be able to do this border, you need, I'll just show you, you see these gaps here in the last row I did before I started doing the border? Well, you need an uneven number of them. So what you do is you start counting from the actual corner in the row below the one where you want your border. So your final row that you crochet before you start your border, you start counting in the corner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way along until you get to the opposite corner. You only have to do this down one side because it's a square, it will be the same all the way around, hopefully. So you do that all the way around, count all the way down to the last corner, and if you have an uneven number then you're good to go. If you have an even number, I would suggest, if your the look of your granny square blanket can take it, that you put 1 more row on, or with your border colour like I have, because I wanted another row anyway, but it just so happened it worked out to the right number of spaces for the border anyway, because my final colour in the sequence of this blanket is actually white. So if you haven't got an uneven number of spaces on the last row of your granny, then with your border you could do a round first and then do your crochet border, because the next round, if your ending round is even, the next round is going to be uneven, and then you'll be ready to do your border. I hope that was clear. So here we go. Right, so I've just done a double crochet in that space, so now I'm going to do 3 trebles. And then I'm going to do 1 chain, and then another 3 trebles. You may notice that I don't hold my hook and yarn in the conventional way. That's okay, as long as you get the same result. You hold your hook and yarn however's most comfortable for you. I think because I was a knitter for 50 years, this was just a natural way for me. I've tried the other way, but just the continental way. But I just prefer the way I do it, which apparently is the old-fashioned English way of crocheting. And there you have. See, I've done 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles, and then in the next space I do 1 double crochet, and then 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles again. And we're going to the second treble cluster now in this space. And then the next space is a double crochet, because you do a corner in a space, but then either side you need the double crochet to anchor it down. Now we get to the last corner. Now you can see here that I actually started in a corner, which I just did 4 trebles. Now I've got to finish this corner off by doing another 4 trebles. Two, 3, 4. Now that's almost finished that corner off. Now you can do a single chain and then join it into the when you first start you do a chain 3, so you can do it in the third, you can slip stitch it into the 3rd chain. Now I find that if I do 1 chain then slip stitch it into the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 3, that the hole on this corner looks much bigger. The gap on this corner looks much bigger than the other 3 corners. So I skip that 1 chain and just go straight into a slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the very first chain 3. So I'm just going to slip stitch that. Just cut my yarn. There is such a thing as a invisible. Actually, would you like me to show you that? I'll show you how to do an invisible, because when you got your very last, it's all very well putting your thread through your through the loop when you've finished and pulling, but it does leave a slightly unsightly little knot, doesn't it? So when it's your very last round, and it doesn't matter on all the other rows because all the rows you're putting on top hide it, but when you do your very last round, a nice invisible finish is just a bit nicer. So you take your, instead of slip stitching into the third chain of your original chain 3 when you started the round, you just take your hook out and pull your yarn through like so. Don't pull it tight, but just like so. Then you thread your tail. I have to remember how to do this. Is it through the front of the chain 3? Sorry, let me say that again. I'm getting my tongue tied. Through the front loop only of the third chain of your original chain 3 at the start of your round. So like so, and pull. Then come back to where you just took your loop off of the hook, which is this one. Into the back loop only, but with the needle coming towards you. And see how you've made a nice little stitch there. Now you need to fasten it off, and the way I do that is to weave into the back loops only, down one side, not all the way down the side, but weave towards you and away from you. Now you do that for a few stitches, then turn your work around. Probably did one too many stitches there, but that's okay. And you just, all the while being careful not to pull too hard. If you think you have, just loosen it by giving it a pull. And just slip stitch your way down one of the trebles to the bottom, and then take your needle all the way through those treble clusters and snip. And there you have a nice neat finish on your corner of your granny square. Now I've got a couple more tails to tie in there, and then that is my blanket finished. So I hope this has been useful. If it has, consider subscribing so you know when future videos come out. I do craft videos, all sorts of crafts actually, including knitting, crochet, sewing, card craft. I haven't done lots of card craft yet, but it is coming. It's a relatively new channel, so it'd be lovely for your support. And most of the videos I do are at beginner level as well. Now, actually, those colours don't look too bad. They're almost true to life. So I'm quite pleased with my granny square blanket. I hope next time you make one, you'll consider doing this border, which I think is always a winner. Thanks for joining me, and see you again soon. Bye for now.